At Brown's Roofing, we put our customers first. Our expert project managers are there to answer all your questions and help you out with anything you need. When disaster strikes, either a hailstorm or a leaky roof, you need a contractor in which you can trust.
Hey everybody, good morning and welcome to the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. What's next for you? Visit cnext.bank for more, the exclusive banking partner of the Digital Weather Desk. Happy Friday. Are you a little sluggish this morning? I am. It's going to be a big Red Bull day. Big. Maybe two. Well, either a big one or two small ones. Not two big ones. Can't do two big Red Bulls. Two small Red Bulls equals a big Red Bull. So, we'll see what happens. But I'm just kind of like, ugh. It's just, I can't get the motor going this morning. But it's Friday, so that's okay. So you take a look at I-20, everything seems to be moving relatively smoothly. It's still pretty early in the morning hours. And most spots are chilly to start. But most of us appear to be above freezing. 34 in Camden, 41 in El Dorado, 45 in Monroe. 43 in Bastrop, 39 in Lake Providence, 45 in Vicksburg. This morning's forecast made possible by ServPro. Monroe, West Monroe. Faster at any size disaster. Call or click servpro.com for more. The local number 318-345-5121. It's going to be a sharply warmer day across the area. In fact, we should climb at least into the low to mid-70s. Futurecast, this is the Barron 3K. It wants to push some areas close to 80 degrees today, kind of compressing the air ahead of a cold front that'll move through the area this evening. And that'll drop us back probably into the 30s to low 40s tonight. Or at least near 40 degrees. So it'll be a chilly start to the day tomorrow. A lot of folks have outdoor plans. Of course, it's Mardi Gras Day in Ouachita Parish. And so two different parades through the day on Saturday. It will be cool, but it will be dry. Not even necessarily that cool. Pretty close to where we should be for this time of year. Mid to upper 50s. Some areas could still be close to the 60-degree mark, but it'll be chilly to start. I would really expect daytime parade temperatures in the 50s, nighttime parade temperatures probably in the 40s. Just, again, it's a long stretch of day, so during the day, 50s, 40s when the sun sets. That's probably the better way to describe it. Miss Bonnie, good morning. Happy Friday. Claudia, Susie, thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for the Happy Weather Person's Day wishes. Not Meteorologist Day, Weather Person's Day. Dr. John Jeffries, the guy that yesterday was his birthday, and he was like America's first weather person. I shared this story yesterday. He was actually a doctor, but he was not a doctor of meteorology or atmospheric science or anything like that. He was like a war surgeon for the British Army. And then he moved to America after the Revolution, or during the Revolution, or whatever. And technically before the Revolution. 70? Yeah. Or during. Whatever. Anyway, he was a surgeon. Wartime surgeon. Back in the Revolutionary days. You know, cannonballs and muskets, and back when they just sawed limbs off. It was wild. Janet, Peavy, May, good morning. Take a look at temperatures as we return to Sunday morning, back into the 30s in many spots, but I don't know how cold we'll actually get because winds will return to the southeast prior to sunrise. So I really think most of us will probably land in the upper end. Why did my mom just scream my high school history teacher's name in the comments section? I don't know. Anyway, winds are back out of the southeast, and that'll lead to the warming trend as we go through the daytime hours on Sunday. Upper 60s to near 70 on Sunday. So again, mid 70s today, 50s for highs tomorrow, back into the 60s to near 70 on Sunday. We're going all over the place this weekend. Morning lows will be back in the upper 40s to near 50 degrees to start the day on Monday. And then we will eventually reintroduce some rain chances to the forecast. Winds are back out of the west currently, and they are a fairly persistent westerly wind, the 5 to 10 mile an hour range. No, I wasn't trying to give a history lesson. I was just was recapping National Weather Person's Day. And then I got into the 1700s. Technically, the guy was born in like 1744. He started weather experiments in Boston in 1774. So it depends on how you want to interpret it. He was during the Revolutionary times. It doesn't matter. He's not here now. He's not watching this live stream. Not that I know of. Infrared satellite shows clear skies and likely to stay that way today. In fact, that's the one thing we can really count on for a good chunk of this weekend is just sunshine, which is good news. Morning lows will, again, be on the cool side, but not necessarily freezing or cold. They'll be chilly. You'll need a jacket, but that's about it. And then, again, temperatures the afternoon, as I mentioned, will just kind of seesaw back and forth. Checking the radar, every shingle radar product made possible by Brown's Roofing. You can schedule your free roof inspection at brownsroofingla.com. Commercial, residential, they do it all. And what we're not doing is rainfall. And the rain will stay out of the forecast probably until the early parts of next week. I think Tuesday, Wednesday, we will see a storm system. We'll talk about that in just a minute. What it means in terms of rain chances, still just kind of waiting and seeing. Beyond that, though, we set the stage for a more active pattern to round out the month. Mr. Greg, good morning. Wonder if you're enjoying your wife's out of town. I know she's cruising. I saw the pictures. So make sure you take care of yourself and don't get in trouble while she's gone. Joy says hallelujah and for the sunshine, and I agree. Again, satellite radar composite shows a weak trough making its way through the area as we speak, but we really set the stage for a quiet weekend. Futurecast made possible by Bayou Power Sports, I-20 frontage road in Monroe. Sunshine with the clouds starting to sneak back in really through the day on Sunday. It'll be late Sunday before we can really expect any kind of appreciable cloud cover. So that'll be back in as we set the stage for early next week. An upper disturbance will sweep through the area at some point late Tuesday, early Wednesday. It should bring at least some potential for showers, maybe a few thunderstorms. It really just depends on moisture return out ahead of that system. And then the second half of the week could also introduce a new storm system by Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but we don't really have a lot of details about that yet. Look at the upper level winds. And the upper level pattern is really kind of in flux right now. And so it's going to get molded and bent and shaped and fluctuated and all kinds of stuff over the next 3 to 5 days. A ridge of high pressure moves into control through a good chunk of the weekend. That's what's going to keep us relatively quiet, even into the early parts of next week. But you can already start to see this, and this is we're talking, this is way in the upper levels of the atmosphere. We're talking 30,000 feet up in the atmosphere. But you can see our next upper level disturbance that'll start to swing through the region on Tuesday. But it, again, doesn't have a prolonged period of moisture return out ahead of it. So it really doesn't have that much of an opportunity to gather ingredients ahead of it to produce this big significant event. It does look to bring showers, maybe a few thunderstorms back into the region, maybe even an isolated strong storm or two. Way too early to really, well, it's not too early, but we can't really talk about specifics because they really haven't made themselves that clear yet. But it does look like to bring it brings rain chances back in. I've got it at 30%, if that gives you kind of a general idea of what we're thinking for Tuesday, Wednesday. I think those rain chances could go up. I don't think they're going to go up that much, maybe to 40 or 50%, but I really can't envision it being a disturbance that brings us any higher confidence of rain and storms other than that. But it does kind of open the pattern up, so to speak, as we go through the second half of the week and beyond that, really through the second half of the month, allowing for more disturbances. There's going to be some type of disturbance here, and there's going to be another storm system here. The computer models kind of have like a 1-2 punch, maybe end of next week, early the next week. Now you're talking 10, 14 days out. It's like I start getting myself into a tailspin when we start talking anything beyond a week, because now you're like, well, that's actually like a week from Monday. So much is going to change between now and then. So, again, we look at specifics. We don't necessarily look at, we look at trends, not necessarily the specifics, because you just can't look at the specifics. It doesn't make a lot of sense to do that. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, the February 12th through 16th time frame. If you have Valentine's Day plans a few days before, right around Valentine's Day or a few days after. Temperatures will likely be above average. Good morning, Patricia and Kathy. Janice. Mr. Greg says, "Where's the party?" Man, hey, your wife's if your wife's on a cruise, it's at your house, man. Miss Evelyn says she loves the sunshine as well. Totally agree. Louisiana Cooker on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining in as well. The 6 to 10 day precip outlook does show some confidence of getting back above average in terms of precip in that 6 to 10 day pattern. Not overly high confidence, and I don't even necessarily think like again, we just start trending with more frequent storm systems. That's probably the best takeaway as we look beyond the next week. 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, still above average. Again, I don't want folks to get too bent out of shape about what these things mean. I know a lot of folks are going to look at these graphics and go, well, winter's done because February's our last shot at winter. That's not necessarily the case either. So we're probably going to see some more shots of cold air. It just doesn't appear to be headed our way in the next 7 to 10 days, maybe the next 14 days. Precip outlook as we get into the next 2 weeks also still shows a certain degree of confidence that we trend somewhat more active. But that's really the only type of language and wording and messaging that we can use is kind of, sort of, a little bit, because there's nothing really screaming one direction or the other except temperatures. Temperatures look to trend above normal. Mid-70s for highs today. Good morning, Gammy and Miss Karen. Thank you so much for joining in. Winds are out of the west today. Could be a little breezy at times. 5 to 15 miles an hour. Same for tonight. As the cold front makes its way through, winds will be out of the north, low 40s, upper 30s for some. But the winds could be on the higher end of that 5 to 10 mile an hour range. I wouldn't be surprised for the early part of the night as that cold front moves through 6 to 11 p.m., somewhere in that ballpark, if the winds are more of the 15 mile an hour range. But they should die back down as we work deeper into the night. Rain chances are close to 0. Look at the 7-day forecast made possible by 3B Hardware. Warmer, cooler, warmer. Warmer, cooler, warmer, 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 warmer. As we go through the next 7 days. Tonight's cold front drops us back into the 50s for Saturday. Sunday looks very, very pleasant. Monday and Tuesday look even pleasanter. Well, Monday looks pleasanter. That's not even a word. Tuesday we do bring the showers and storms back in. Wednesday, Thursday, we could see some rain chances fester as well. But by then, temperatures are well above normal. Low 70s for highs, lows into the 50s. And 50s are really what we should be looking at for high temperatures this time of year. So we're way up there. How long does that hang around? At least through the end of next week. Beyond that, we can't really say with a lot of certainty. Ginger, good morning to you as well. And that's where the forecast sits on this Friday morning, February 6th, as the sun starts to shine through. It is a beautiful morning across the area. You're going to need a jacket as you head out. But sunshine aplenty. Your Too Long Didn't Read set for 9:30 in the morning. I will join you midday. We didn't have a midday live stream yesterday because I was out and about. But we will have one today. And I will have one later this evening as we gear you up for the weekend. Like I said, Too Long Didn't Read comes out at 9:30. Fish and Game later tonight. And anything else that I think you need to know along the way, we'll let you know about it. Aside from that, again, I don't want folks as they join this platform and they frequent this platform to get it too bent out of shape. When the weather is quiet, we tell you the weather is quiet. Does that drop our traffic here? Oftentimes, yes, because there's a lot of folks that don't care about the weather unless they need to care about the weather, and that's okay. But we do expect you to return when the weather does get bad, or when it does make that turn or make that change, and that's what we're here for. Forecast is always available at digitalweatherdesk.com and on the Digital Weather Desk app, available for Apple and Android users. Thank you so much for taking time out of the day to be a part of this community, and we're glad you're here. I'll check in with you midday. And thanks so much for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk, powered by CenturyNext Bank. Have a great Friday, everybody.
My name's Chris O'Byrne. I'm with Brown's Roofing. There's a common misnomer in the insurance restoration industry that taking an insurance claim start to finish is similar to remodeling a bathroom. Well, in fact, there's a lot of red tape on the process. Sometimes major adjustments are needed to be able to get the work done and get the work done right. It is very important for an educated representative to get with you today and walk you through this process start to finish. Your peace of mind is our top priority.